Well, thank you for joining me with the Marriage Mindset episode 1. I have the pleasure of interviewing you as my very first couple.
Awesome.
Yes, and I would like for you to introduce yourselves and your ministry.
Okay, great. My name is Pastor Robert Shepherd, the founding pastor of Restoration Community Fellowship Church here in Garland, Texas. And this woman here, I just picked her up off the corner here just today and asked her to marry me, so there you go. But no, go ahead, dear.
I'm just his wife. That's who I be.
You are
More than queen. This is my queen.
I'm kidding. I am his wife. I am the pastor's wife.
Yes.
I'm his sidekick. I'm his ride or die. I'm his, you name it. That's me.
All right. Yes. And yes, Tangie Shepherd.
Oh, sorry. Tangie Shepherd is my name.
She got caught up in titles and everything, forgot her name.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
First-
Tangie Shepherd is my name. I'm so sorry.
Yes, First Lady of Evangelist.
No ma'am. First lady.
First,
Not
okay.
co-pastor, not prophets, not nothing.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
first lady.
All right. Well, what I would like to do is just open up with a question that'll kind of take you a little bit back in the past.
Oh my.
How long have you been married?
We've been married 26 years.
26.
26 years.
So you guys are veterans.
I would say so, yeah. In today's standard of marriage, we're veterans, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably in our grandparents' stage, we would probably not be there yet. You know, people that were married 50, 60 years easily. But in today's society, we're privileged to be, you know, veterans in this thing God called marriage. Yeah, it's an honor and privilege. Right?
All right. So with my first question, in the beginning of your marriage, or I would say in the beginning of marriage, there is a period for adjustments. Would you not agree?
I agree, totally.
Okay. And that adjustment is a time to smooth out the wrinkles. Do you remember something that either of you had to work on or work out, or maybe even having to submit it before God in order for that thing to truly be resolved? And I'll give you an example first.
Okay.
Okay. When I first married Chris, I used to go from 0 to 100.
Oh my.
Yeah, I had an anger issue.
Oh, well.
And it was, yeah, and now you wouldn't know that,
Right.
but it was because there were things that triggered me,
Sure.
and he had nothing to do with it.
Mm.
But it was things that he would say or things that he would do, and it would trigger me.
Wow.
So that's something that I had to start working on immediately in order for us to work.
Sure.
So it may not be that deep or serious, but can you remember anything that possibly either one of you had to work on? Or?
Well, yeah, I'll allow my wife to address that. That's a great point. And I would like to see what she hear.
That I had to work on or he had to work on. Because, you know, I can always talk about his.
The question is directed to you, I believe. Yeah.
I know.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it could be either or.
Yeah, okay.
But
Awesome.
you started first.
You know what? Let's see. What did I have to work on? Man. What did I have to work on? Because
I know it's a long time.
I don't remember. I guess when we first started, I think I may have had some anger issues, but I was never been the type that lash out or whatever. I would probably be quiet or write a long letter for him to read. Because a person is so emotional, if we start talking about it, I'm crying, I can't get it out, so I would have to write a letter to tell him what I wanted to say. But I think probably a little ways on into our marriage, I had to realize I had to choose my friends wisely. Because it got to a point where we both had our club days or whatever. So once he stopped clubbing, then I started clubbing. I had certain friends that I was always out with all the time. You know, whatever it was, it didn't matter. I was gone. You got the kids, I'm finna go.
Yeah.
I think I really had to work on that. I really had to get that out of my system. clubbing was not good
Yes.
with other single people
Yeah. Yeah.
that was single. So that's what I had to work on.
All right. Now, was there anything for you that you think you had, like, from, you know, and I hear there's like sort of an adjustment for like men, because as women we kind of go in just being just so-called ready.
Right.
But, you know, was there anything, or can you think of anything from men that you have heard of, or maybe couples that you mentor that you see common that men maybe have to adjust or?
Yeah, I believe that there's adjustment on both part, male and female, husband and wife, that has to be made, because like us, we came from a diverse rearing, if I can say. She came from a church family, church that was engulfed in the Church of God in Christ, you know, from birth. It was just a value that her family had. I didn't come from a family that was based in, you know, Christianity and had the church as a mainstay. And so I had to adjust to the fact that, wow, church is priority to my wife, first of all. And the things that she learned in church, you know, value God, to trust God, honor integrity before God. So I had to make that major adjustment. The few times I was involved in church, I had more of a Baptist background, so the major adjustment was, you know, adjusting through the dating process of going to church with her on a Sunday, and understanding that at 12 o'clock I'm not going to be in front of the barbecue grill with a beer.
Right.
It's going to be probably 2 o'clock before they get out of church. That was a major adjustment
Right,
for me.
and then y'all might have to go back.
We made, exactly. So that was a major adjustment, but I would say for me personally, setting expectation was a major adjustment for me. Because I am anal, if I can say that.
Yeah.
Everything has to be in order. And so I set my expectation from finances, from communicating. I set my expectations, I set the expectations that I had upon my wife based on the way I was. And it was totally opposite. You're looking at a single parent household of 6 children. You're looking at a 2-parent household with 2 siblings. So totally different dynamics. So I had to learn that setting expectations have to be fair. And it was a major adjustment for me. That it's going to take my wife a while to understand the responsibilities of being independent while also being unified as a married and raising children. It's just something that I had to get used to, that it's going to take time for her. You know, she had dad to help her in certain situations, and had mom, whereas, you know, my expectations of her was, hey, she understand that she don't have to cut all the lights off in the house, because it's okay. I grew up in the projects where, hey, if you don't pay your light bill, you're going to have candles going everywhere. So my expectations was, you got to know how to manage money, whereas, you know, she didn't have to worry about growing up, you know, worrying about those things. So I would say I had to learn how to set the expectation that was fair to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's good that you bring up the rearing, the differences, because I think with couples, they don't realize how much that plays an impact when you come together and you've been raised one way and he's been raised another way, and now y'all have to develop your own way together.
Wow. Yeah, to marry all that together.
And if you don't get a foundation, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It really won't work.
Yep.
All right, so with the art of persuasion, with the art of persuasion and the art of patience, and I call it an art because I think it is an art to be patient with somebody.
Oh, yes.
Right. So, in what ways has patience played a part in your marriage, and what tactics do you use, if any, to persuade him, or what do you do to persuade her in order to come into agreement about something, or to adopt the idea, you know, to get on one accord?
Wow. Okay.
Especially when it comes to like, well, we'll get into money later.
Okay.
But
Awesome. I'm chill until that time. Go ahead.
But no, patience, he has a lot of patience with me, which I know it probably took a long time to realize that, okay, I gotta get patience with this girl. Because sometimes I notice, like he said he's anal, like our closet, finally got better. My shoes are like up now, stacked. But they used to be like all over the floor. And I don't think he's ever really approached me about my shoes. But I always noticed how his was all color coordinated and stacked and lined up right. So it got to a point where he actually just started cleaning up my shoes. So I thought, okay, well, I guess he mad about my shoes everywhere. So then finally I got to the point where I started kind of kicking under my clothes. Because to me it just takes so much time just to try to stack them, and then when you take them off, you got to color coordinate too.
Yes.
So no, but yeah, still have a lot of patience with me in a lot of things, and I'm just grateful because some men won't be that patient. I'm like, look, I'm sick of you doing this. I'm sick of you putting that there. But no, he takes charge and he just does it. And when I know this, then I say, okay, girl, you got to get up. You got to go do this, this, and this, and this, so you don't have to worry about it. So I truly appreciate it.